Hi everyone and welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. This is the second video celebrating the arrival of my 2018 Shelby GT350R model Mustang. I'm really excited about it. The dealer acquired this car on June 18th. We successfully concluded our negotiations and it was mine on June 28th, 10 days later. And we put it on a flatbed truck and brought it right to my driveway, backed it into my garage. It's got 10.2 miles on it right now. It's never been driven. It's totally clean, and you can probably tell that just by, here, take a look at the exhaust tips. Those are probably the cleanest exhaust tips you'll see on a Shelby GT350, and it's just because the darn thing hasn't been driven yet. When I drove the car off of the flatbed truck, the first thing I noticed when I turned the ignition on was the warning in the display that said that the fuel level was low and there was actually 0 miles to empty. So I backed it into the garage, turned the motor off, and I wasn't going to turn it back on until I had fuel in it. The first video, we just did a quick walk around of the car, and I pointed out some of the difference between the base Shelby GT350 and the 350R. And we'll just take another look at it real quickly here. Here's the window sticker. It says that it is the R model. One very interesting thing that I would like to point out is a line item I have never seen on a window sticker before, and that is this one, this item right here. Gas guzzler tax. Thank you, IRS. They collect $1,300 on every one of these cars that Ford builds. And it's only because it gets about 10 miles per gallon, so you don't want to buy this car for a long road trip or to go to the shopping mall and park it out in the lot or anything like that. This car will never be left at a shopping mall or the grocery store. I'm only going to drive it for the sheer enjoyment of the exhilaration of its performance capabilities. And point out a few other things. As most of you probably already know, the R model comes with carbon fiber wheels, and the car is designed in a wind tunnel. It has engine oil cooler, transmission oil cooler, differential oil cooler, and it's designed to keep everything cool. As you might imagine, on a racetrack, the front wheel, tire and brake assemblies will get really hot, and the car is designed with an air inlet up in the front, and you might be able to see you can see where the air comes in. It cools the tires. It comes out from the rear of the fender or the wheel well, and then it exhausts right through here. So it's a really nice design. It keeps everything cool. You can see that's got that really big carbon fiber rear wing. The red badge signifies that it's an R model, as well as the red pinstripe next to the blue racing stripe. So I've got it sitting here. It's parked right next to my 2013 Boss 302. The Boss has always been an exciting car to drive. It also had, when it came out in 2013, the track performance was awesome, but it still has that solid live rear axle, which degrades the track performance a little bit. Whereas on the Shelby here, it's got a fully independent racing suspension. Beautiful car. Let's, without further ado, let's go inside. It's got a very nice new car smell to it. I'll go ahead and close the door. And as I said, we now have fuel in the gas tank. Without stepping on the clutch pedal, I'll press the engine start and stop button. And what that does, if you don't depress the clutch pedal, that just turns on the ignition. So we'll go ahead and turn that on. We can watch the navigation display come alive. And here's the display. We're no longer getting the low fuel warning. And it's got about 3/4 of a tank now. I put 12 gallons very carefully using a gas can. So let's go ahead and crank it up. And there it is. It's got a real throaty growl. One nice thing I like about the Shelbys is that you get the oil gauges right here in the center of the instrument panel. On the left is the oil pressure. As you can see, when it starts up cold, the pressure goes up to about 100. And of course the oil temperature is still cold. So the oil temperature is low and the oil pressure is high when you first start it up, and then they even out a little bit. This car has a head-up display that shows me gives me a quick reference of where the tachometer is. I don't know enough about the car to know if it's been set up that way. I guess I can always look up here and rev the motor and see if it shows up. And it doesn't show up. I've got to program that in somehow. But at least today we have the engine running. I'll make sure that it's in neutral. Slowly let out the clutch. This clutch is as light as a feather. The clutch on my Boss is a regular mechanical clutch and it's very heavy. We'll go back outside. And I'll position this where we can see the exhaust. Back inside and rev it up a little bit, and you can hear. What I'll do is rev it up first with the exhaust at normal. It's also got a sport mode where it opens it up very nicely, and it really changes the sound. And I won't have to tell you when I hit that switch, because you'll tell right away from the sound of the exhaust. So there you have it, folks. That's the first startup of the new Shelby GT350R. Like I said, I'm really excited to have it. The horn honk kind of surprised me, but I remember it doesn't like the hood being open, so when I closed the door with the hood open, it reminded me of that. So there it is. On the next video, we'll take it out and maybe see what it's like out on the road, and for the first time, get it out of first gear. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.